Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a truly fascinating journey into the modern data supply chain. We're going to look at this revolutionary concept where raw human and agent contributions don't just disappear into some corporate black box. Instead, they become verifiable, ownable assets. We're exploring the Codatta protocol and how it's literally rewriting the rules of data ownership in the age of artificial intelligence.
So what if your data contributions paid you deterministic royalties? I mean, every single day we generate massive amounts of valuable data that trains AI models, and usually we just give it away for free. But the main goal of Codatta is to use blockchain technology to turn data into a recognized, revenue-generating asset class for AI. Imagine a world where your rights over the data you provide are provable, the ownership is transferable, and the revenue generated from it is actually shared with you. Sounds pretty amazing, right?
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to start with tokenizing data with Codatta and then literally follow the four-step flow of a piece of data as it travels through the ecosystem: contribution, assetification, usage, and royalties. Finally, we'll wrap up with how you can actually acquire ownership.
Section 1. Tokenizing data with Codatta. To set the stage, here's the formal definition. Codatta is a protocol that turns human and agent contributions into verifiable, ownable data assets with traceable lineage, policy-gated access, and deterministic royalty payouts. I really want to emphasize those two phrases: ownable data assets and deterministic royalty payouts. That is absolutely crucial. That's the what's in it for me for you. It's not just another database. It's a system that enforces your ownership rights and mathematically guarantees your cut of the revenue when your data is used.
And this brilliantly illustrates the overarching architecture we're dealing with today. It's a clean, four-step, end-to-end flow. Think of this as our assembly line for the explainer: contribution, assetification, usage, and royalty. Each step relies completely on the integrity of the one right before it.
Moving on to step 1, contribution. This is where raw data first enters the system.
When a contributor, and that could be a human being or an automated agent, submits a piece of work, like a data sample or a label, it doesn't just get dumped into a giant spreadsheet. It gets sealed with what Codatta calls a contribution fingerprint, or CF. You can think of this like a digital wax seal on your piece of data. It's an atomic, cryptographic, signed record that permanently locks in exactly who did the work, what they did, when they did it, and the evidence to back it up.
But you know, that wax seal, the fingerprint, doesn't just float around on its own. It's strictly bound to the contributor's identity and reputation. Codatta uses a privacy-preserving identity system, so you're not forced to dox yourself, but it still maintains strict accountability. It factors in staking as confidence, which is basically putting down a financial deposit to prove you stand by your work, and it tracks your accuracy history to score trust. This ensures that trust and quality control are baked in right at the start of the supply chain. Bad data gets filtered out early, and good contributors build a really lucrative reputation. All right, step 2, assetification. We are now essentially boxing up our approved data for the shelves. Assetification is where those atomic contributions with their verified fingerprints are assembled and curated into versioned datasets. So the crucial point is that this is the exact moment a piece of data fundamentally transforms from a mere sample into a financial asset. It gets minted into on-chain tokenized ownership. This means the dataset now has transferable fractions of ownership, just like holding shares in a company. Beneath the hood of this step is a really powerful technical engine. For an asset to be truly valuable to AI developers, it's got to be traceable and secure, right? The asset assembly uses a lineage explorer, so anyone can run provenance queries to see exactly where the data came from. It relies on decentralized storage as the absolute source of truth, and it provides on-chain proof exports. This means ownership and origin can be mathematically verified at any time, with absolutely no need to trust a centralized middleman. Let's shift gears to step 3, usage. Now we're looking at things from the perspective of the data consumer, like an AI model developer. In a traditional model, once data is scraped, it's basically gone. It's free for anyone to use forever. But in Codatta, data is never just given away. The AI free ride is completely over. AI builders have to access this data through a strict, policy-gated access gateway. Since the data is structured as an asset, every single time a model reads it, it produces a usage and billing event. It's metered, it's precise, and honestly, it's inescapable.
Secure consumption is the name of the game here. The protocol utilizes permissioned access control and highly secure computing environments like TEEs, trusted execution environments, or federated learning. That means the AI can actually learn from the data without the data itself ever being exposed or stolen. And right in the middle of all this is the metering module. You can think of the metering module as the cash register of the entire operation. It diligently tracks every single read, every API call, and emits auditable events so nobody gets away without paying.
Which brings us to Step 4, royalties, the highly anticipated final step of the core data flow.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the payout actually works. When revenue comes into the account owned by the data consumer, it hits the royalty engine. I really want you to focus on the word deterministic here. The royalty engine takes that revenue, combines it with the time-pinned ownership fractions we minted back in Step 2, and aligns it perfectly with the exact metering events from Step 3. The math here is entirely transparent and totally replayable. There are no backroom deals, no shady Hollywood accounting. The code simply executes the payout based on verifiable usage.
Visually, this is how it breaks down. The tokenized ownership fractions logically split the deterministic payouts among three main groups. The knowledge contributors who provided the actual work get their share. The knowledge backers who provided the confidence and liquidity get theirs. And then a portion goes to the protocol treasury to sustain the whole ecosystem. Literally, everyone is economically aligned.
Section 6, How to Acquire Ownership. Let's talk about how you can actually get involved.
There are two distinct paths here, tailored to two distinct personas. On the left, we have knowledge contributors. These are the folks providing the raw data. If you contribute samples, labels, or validations, and your work is accepted as a valid contribution fingerprint, a default share is automatically minted to you. Basically, you earn ownership through your labor. On the right, we have knowledge backers. These are the participants providing financial confidence. They can stake tokens, underwrite data to boost its trust score, or just buy fractions on a secondary market. Now, it's important to note that buying fractions doesn't change the underlying payout math of the royalty engine at all. It simply changes who receives that specific owner share.
And because these are tokenized assets, you get incredible flexibility. You can transfer your fractions directly to another wallet. You can put them in escrow, keeping them locked up until specific conditions are met, like, say, an off-chain payment clearing, KYC verification, or hitting certain project milestones. When the royalty engine calculates a payout, it just takes a snapshot and uses the owner of record at that exact moment to distribute the funds.
Let's move to and see how this builds the entire picture. This is the complete Codatta stack we've journeyed through today, starting right at the base with the contribution fingerprint, verified by identity and reputation. That's organized by clear lineage and secured in robust storage and serving layers. Then it's metered tightly through access gateways, proven via ownership proofs, and finally monetized through the transparent royalty engine. Every single layer relies securely on the foundation laid by the layer beneath it. It's like a giant puzzle perfectly snapping together.
Which leaves us with this final provocative thought. We are living in an era where AI models are hungrier than ever, just consuming every bite of information they can find. As AI continues to devour information, will your data finally be recognized as the ownable, revenue-generating asset class it deserves to be? Codatta is building the exact infrastructure to make that a reality. I highly encourage you to rethink your relationship with the data you create and go explore Codatta's Lineage Explorer and dashboards to see this incredible protocol in action. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.